when Piyush approached me to talk to you, and he said we're going to talk about outcomes. Firstly, of course, it's a sort of very broad thing, outcomes. And I was reminded really of my father, who he's my role model in many senses. He's had a tough life, but I've never seen a man who's more optimistic in life. And right through, he has had only one particular sort of reply if you asked him, what should I be doing? And he says the purpose of life is to be of use. That's it. The purpose of life is to make yourself useful. And when I think of outcomes, I think the real question we've got to ask ourselves is, what is the purpose of business? And is business of any use? And I think more than ever before, this is the burning question going on in societies and in the world that we live in. Are we of any use? And my next half an hour is really to share with you what my beliefs are, which are shaped, of course, very much by the environment that I have lived in and the companies I have worked. So let's first look at the world that we operate in. And this is a word that was coined some time ago. It's not original, but we have used it very often, and I hope you heard of this before, that we live in a VUCA world. This is a world that is volatile, uncertain, complex, ambiguous. There has never been a time where, you open the newspaper, there is either some conflict going on somewhere, some natural disaster taking place, some economic crisis taking place, and like they say, just when you think it is safe to get back into the water, Jaws 2. Okay? That's the world that we are living in. And I think for us to recognize, therefore, one very important fact. In this world, the long term is still very important. The short term is even more important because you've got to be agile in a world like this. But at the same time, this is the death of the medium term. There is no such thing as medium term. So any of you who are doing 3-year plans to get some outcomes 5 years later, forget it. Figure out what you're going to do this year, but make sure you're absolutely rooted on the long term and the destination where you're going. The future of this world is going to be in the developing and emerging markets, no doubt about it. And I'm a very simple person. You've got to go where the people are, and you've got to go where the money is going to be. Where are the people? 85% of the world's population actually lives in the developing markets. Come on. You don't have to be very smart to figure this out. Where are going to be the markets? In the developing world. Number two, where is going to be the wealth of tomorrow? In fact, Asia alone, in terms of consumption, Asia alone, in consumption terms by 2020, will have more purchasing power than United States and most of Europe put together. Okay? So therefore, this world is going to change. And if you want to create outcomes for your business, you better understand the emerging market consumer, and you better understand how to do business in the developing world. And don't worry about what has happened in the last 1 year. Okay? And if it is any consolation, if China is growing 7% and everyone's feeling sick, and if India is growing at 5.5% and everyone's feeling depressed, Europe is growing 0. Okay? And if you do your math and project, at the end of the day, this is going to ultimately be a very different world. It may take 10 years, 20 years, doesn't really matter.